Hi everyone, very warm welcome to upGrad KnowledgeHut and to this webinar. I really appreciate you taking your time off and attending this. Very good morning and very good evening to whoever is in whichever region. And just to give you an introduction, what we might do in the next 1 hour. I guess we already have many attendees. We are keeping this open for others to join. In the meantime, I'll just give you a highlight about this webinar. So currently we have our expert, Saurabh Saxena, who is an SPC. And to give you an introduction about upGrad KnowledgeHut, we are one of the most reputed training institutes globally, and we deliver on-site and online training across the globe. And we have over almost about 500,000 customer user base. And we have also, delivered training to enterprises, large organizations, and, corporate events. So just to answer a few of your questions, which were mentioned, on the chat. Yes, this will be a recorded session. We will be sharing you the recording post this session. And along with that, you will also receive the SUs and PDUs. So one SUs and one PDUs will be provided to you as a participant. Okay, so let's start. So I'll just introduce Saurabh here. So who carries over 20 years of experience, in the industry and over 15 years into Agile. He has an experience of delivering over 750 trainings, and he has trained more than 10,000 individuals, coached, out of that, maybe 60 plus leaders and mentored 60 plus individuals. And he has a transformation journey with Comcast, Reliance Jio, Travelex, McDonald's, Vodafone, Telefonica, Daimler, LAM Research, Easebus, PepsiCo, etc. So I don't want to, bore you further. So over to you, Saurabh. And in the this will be a live recorded session. And at the end of this session, in case if you have any questions or any doubts, you can post it on the chat or in the Q&A section, and we will be do our best to answer them at that time. Over to you, Saurabh.
Thank you, Avko, and thank you, upGrad KnowledgeHut, for giving me the opportunity to present this webinar. I hope I am pretty much audible, loud and clear to you guys. Yeah. All right. So this session for today, the next 1 hour, we are going to talk about leading hybrid teams. Leading hybrid teams in an agile environment, and my introduction is already given to you. You can see a QR code at the bottom right. If you wish to connect with me, you can just scan. Don't worry, it will not ask you to pay anything. It is not a fraud QR. It is the actual QR code just to connect with me over the LinkedIn handle. All right, let's move further. What we are going to talk in this next 1 hour of class. I welcome you again. Today's session is about how agile leadership principle can transform the way we manage hybrid teams. The workplace has changed drastically in the last few years, and many teams now operate across a hybrid or distributed model. This creates new challenges for leadership, especially around communication, alignment, and building trust. Today, we will explore how agile ways of working can bring structure, clarify, and connectedness to hybrid environments. We will focus on practical techniques, not theory, things you can immediately apply with your teams starting tomorrow. And I encourage you to reflect on your own team's reality during the session so you walk away with meaningful insight, not just notes. The 5 key learnings that we are going to have in this 1 hour session. We will be learning around how agile leaders adapts to hybrid teams dynamics, how running effective stand-up and retros remotely, keeping collaboration strong across time zone, hybrid friendly agile tools and facilitation tips, and lastly, balancing autonomy and accountability remotely. So these are the 5 key lessons we will be learning in the next 1 hour of the session going forward. Moving next, Let's take the story of a bank, a very renowned bank of Switzerland, and the bank name is Finnova, a 100-year-old financial institution that began its digital transformation during the pandemic. With teams split between Mumbai in India, London in UK, and Singapore, Finnova struggled to maintain collaboration, alignment, and delivery pace. Managers faced the classic hybrid challenge, silos forming between on-site and remote members, delayed decision, and burnout due to lack of clarity. Instead of rushing to add more tools or processes, Finnova focused on leadership agility. They shifted from control to empowerment, from hierarchy to collaboration. This lesson in the next, not 1 hour now, it is next 55 minutes. This session will walk you through how Finnova built rhythm, clarity, and ownership across distributed teams using agile principle. As we go through each concept, we will connect it to Finnova transformation journey, how a traditional bank evolved into a responsive, people-first organization without compromising its governance and quality standard. Think of this story not as their transformation, but as a mirror. What lesson teams, can your teams borrow to thrive in a hybrid world? Let's move further. The challenge of the hybrid work. Let's have a look. What are the challenges of the hybrid work? The four challenges of the hybrid work. Hybrid work introduces complexity because we lose the natural signals and conversation that happens when people sit together. Communication becomes planned instead of spontaneous. Visibility into progress often depends on tool rather than observation, and trust, which forms naturally in co-located environments, must now be built deliberately. The goal is not to force remote employees to behave like in office employees, but to create a working system that supports clarity, collaboration, and shared ownership regardless of location. The first one, teams spread across locations and time zone. Hybrid teams often work in different cities or even countries, making real-time collaboration difficult. Teams must balance synchronization and asynchronous communication. Working style and pace may differ across regions. Leaders must design communication intentionally, not rely on chance interaction. The second one, communication gaps and misalignment. Without physical proximity, information can easily become fragmented. Assumption replace clarity when discussion don't reach everyone. Message may get interpreted differently by different part of the team. Structure updates and written documentation help maintain alignment. The third challenge of hybrid work, reduced visibility into work progress. Leaders and teammates can't see work happening like in a physical offices. Relying on verbal updates lead to confusion or misinterpretation. Visual workboards and shared dashboard restore transparency. And clarity reduce anxiety and increase trust. Trust is not built by location, it's built by consistent interaction and reliability. Remote members can feel invisible if not actively engaged. Leaders must create a space for voice recognition and contribution. Psychological safety becomes a conscious practice, not an accidental outcome. Global retail bank Innova launching a next generation mobile app. Team split across Mumbai, Singapore, and London, as I highlighted earlier. They struggled misalignment, duplicate work, and remote disengagement. Finnova digital program faced all the usual hybrid challenges, time zone, cultural gaps, and uneven collaboration. Great individual talent, but collaboration felt transactional. This set the stage for introducing agile ways of working to create unity without proximity. At Finnova Bank, the hybrid shift initially felt like chaos. Leadership noticed that productivity metrics looked fine on paper, but teams' morale had plummeted. Some members in London worked late, to match Mumbai hours, while others in Singapore felt isolated. Missed hallway conversation, managers struggled with visibility, not being able to see who was working on what. Decisions slowed down because approvals still followed hierarchical lines. The biggest challenge was not technology, it was trust. Employee felt micromanaged through tools and dashboard. To address this, what Finnova did? Finnova's leadership team ran the pulse survey and found two root cause. The first one, lack of shared goals, and the second one, inconsistent communication. Teams were overscheduled with meetings yet still unclear on outcomes. Leaders realized hybrid success wasn't about monitoring, it was about enabling clarity and connections. They decided to move away from traditional management reviews, forward agile style, check ins, short, structured, and transparent. This set the stage for leadership transformation, helping Finnova rediscover that hybrid leadership is less about control and more about cultivating a system of shared purpose and trust. Let's move further and talk about how Finnova overcome with these challenges in detail. Agile leadership is about enabling people, not controlling them. In hybrid teams, micromanagement simply cannot scale. It breaks trust and reduce ownership. Instead, we emphasize clarity on outcomes, what needs to be achieved, why and by when. Psychological safety becomes crucial because people need to feel safe to raise concern and ideas without hesitation. Consistent rituals like planning, stand up, and reviews keep everyone aligned, and visual workboard act as the shared resource, replacing the physical office whiteboards. The first one, lead by outcomes, not oversight. Agile leadership focus on what needs to be achieved, not on monitoring hours or activities. Outcome-centered clarity empowers team to take ownership. Micromanagement damage motivation, especially remotely. Define success clearly, trust execution, and review the result. Create psychological safety. People must feel safe to raise risk, ask questions, and share ideas without fear of judgment. In hybrid teams, silence should be treated as a signal, not consent. Leaders model vulnerability, openness, and curiosity. Safety increase engagement and innovation. Maintain consistent collaboration ritual. Rituals like stand-up planning and retros, including review, establish rhythm and stability. In hybrid setting, structure replaces the informal alignment that used to happen in offices. Consistency prevents drift and ensures shared context. Rituals are not meetings, they are coordination touchpoint. And the lastly, use visual flow to replace physical presence. Board makes work visible to everyone regardless of location. They act as shared source of truth for priorities and progress. Visual flow reduces misunderstanding and clarifies who is doing what. When work is visible, alignment becomes natural instead of effortful. Moving to next, running effective stand-up and retros. The purpose of the stand-up is to coordinate. So there is a misconception that stand-up is a status meeting. The purpose of stand-up is to coordinate, not report. Everyone should look at the same board and speak about progress and blockers. Avoid long discussions, those are taken offline after. Retrospectives are even more important in hybrid environment because they create a space to express what's working and what is not. Use digital whiteboard so everyone participate equally, and always end with one or two specific improvement to implement before the next iteration or so called as sprint. Small continuous improvement matter more than big dramatic challenges. Daily stand up. A short daily coordination meeting focused on shared understanding of current work. Team members speak to the board, not about themselves. Time box is to maintain energy and avoid drifting into problem solving. And the outcome is everyone leaves aligned with clear and specific goals for the day. Focus on progress, next step, and blockers. Progress helps illustrate momentum and celebrate wins. Next step, ensure clarity of immediate priorities. Blockers must be surfaced early to avoid delays compounding. This stand up is not a status report, it is a synchronizing activity. Let me see if we have a question on the chat as of now. No, I think we are good. The last one, retrospective. Reflect, learn, improve. Retros are structured learning loops to strengthen team performance. Encourage openness and avoid blame. Focus on systems, not individuals. Use digital collaboration board for equal participation. Close with one or two concrete improvement action to implement before the next retro. Keeping collaboration strong across all time zone is the next in the queue. When teams work across time zones, synchronous meeting becomes limited. So we need to be intentional, use overlapping windows only for high value discussion and decision making. Everything else can happen asynchronously via shared document or recorded updates. Documentation becomes essential not as bureaucracy, but as a clarity tool. When things are written down clearly, misunderstanding reduce and dependency delays shrink. A hybrid leader emphasizes transparency. If it is not visible, it is as good as not happening. So make sure that your dependencies are always visible. Use overlapping working hours intentionally. Reserve shared hours for discussion, decision making, and co creation. Do not waste overlap time on reading, email, or documentation. Treat overlap as a collaboration prime time. This preserves both efficiency and connection. Document decisions in shared workspace. Documentation is clarity insurance in hybrid environment. If something is not written, it can't be trusted as shared understanding. Use tools like Confluence, Notions, SharePoint, or maybe OneNote. However, I'm not promoting any of these in the class, but use tools as part of your organization. Documentation reduce rework and accelerate onboarding. Use asynchronous updates when real time is not possible. Recorded video updates or written brief prevent delays. Essence stand-ups allow progress tracking without scheduling conflict. Clear templates ensure communication remains consistent. Asynchronous doesn't replace real time, it complements it. So there we have a question from LinkedIn. People are scared of managers and not opening in Scrum. Retrospective, irrespective of how much. Okay, we will answer this question at a later point of time. Let me just finish this slide and then I will be answering this question. Recorded video updates or written brief prevent delays. Asynchronous doesn't replace real time, it complements it. Default to transparency and clarity. Make work decision and priorities visible by default. Avoid private conversations that leave others uninformed. Clarity reduces confusion and strengthen accountability. When transparency is the norm, trust becomes resilient. How hybrid friendly agile tools and facilitation tips help us? Agile tools support hybrid collaboration by making work and decision visible to everyone. Task board, keep progress transparent. Digital whiteboard, keep brainstorming. Collaborative communication platforms like Slack and Teams and Zoom benefit from etiquettes. such as agreed response time and focus hours. As facilitator, we need to design inclusive meetings, start with short checking so every voice is heard. Use breakout rooms to boost engagement and leverage visual to equalize participation. Tool doesn't replace leadership, please keep in mind, but they amplify effectiveness. Very important sentence. Tools doesn't replace leadership, but they amplify effectiveness. Work tracking tools like Jira, Trello, Azure boards. These tools visualize work, dependency, and progress. They act as a shared transparent workflow instead of personal task list. Everyone see the same reality. No hidden queues. They reduce friction and improve planning accuracy. Collaboration and ideation tools like Miro, Mural, FigJam, and there are many more. Whiteboarding digitally allows equal participation across locations. Visual thinking encourages creativity and collective problem solving. These tools replace the physical room and flip charts. They create a shared working environment. Communication platform like Slack, Teams, and Zoom. Channels organize conversation and reduce email overload. Agreed communication etiquettes ensure respect and predictability. Examples: response time expectations, focus mode hours, communication clarity, reduce tension and misalignment. Facilitation techniques: start meeting with short check ins to boost engagement. It is very important for those who are into facilitation. Use breakout rooms for small groups collaboration. Call names gently to invite participation without pressure. Good facilitation ensure everyone feels seen and heard. Very important for those who are into facilitation. I'm just going little bit out of the slide. I hope my screen is visible to you guys. That's the website. Yeah. I'm just opening a tool. The tool name is Liberating Structures. Now there are problems in the team and you cannot use similar way of facilitation to facilitate the meetings. If you have find this elephant in your meeting where you feel people are bored, people are disengaged, people are excluded, wait time is high, people are not able to participate, down the line in the same page, however, I am pasting this link on the chat and I will request the host to share this link across all the participants in the group. In this link, if you will go down, you will be able to see that there are various facilitation techniques. So almost 30 to 35 facilitation techniques based on the problem you are facing, based on the challenge you are facing in your meeting. Because you cannot go with one mindset to organize all types of meeting with one direction. Based on the problem, you have to choose the own technique to facilitate the meeting. Once the webinar is finished, I will request you all to explore this liberating structure. In my last 15 years of Agile experience, so I am into Agile from last 15 years, I found this website very helpful to facilitate various meetings as part of my facilitation. Liberating structure for you. Let me go back to slide. The next one I have is how to balance autonomy and accountability. In a hybrid environment, autonomy is not optional, it is necessary. But autonomy without alignment leads to chaos. That's why we clarify expectations upfront, whether through OKRs, objective and key result, sprint goal, iteration goals, or team working agreement or ground rules. These agreements outline how we communicate, respond, collaborate, and make decisions. Trust is a starting point. But expectations and feedback loops keep performance consistent. Accountability is not about monitoring people, it's about ensuring mutual responsibility to outcomes. Freedom to execute work independently. Hybrid teams need flexibility to choose the best way to work. Autonomy increases ownership and intrinsic motivation. When people feel trusted, they contribute more fully. Autonomy is a leadership gift, not a lack of structure. These days, you might be hearing a lot autonomous cross functional team. What is autonomy? Giving an opportunity for the team to decide what they are going to deliver, how they are going to deliver, to whom they are going to coordinate. If you are able to provide the autonomy to your team will start becoming self-organizing and high-performing team, which is very much needed to balance accountability and autonomy. Clear expectation and shared goals. Without clarity, autonomy becomes chaos. Define scope, outcomes, timelines, and quality. Standard clearly. Clarity reduce rework and frustration. Make expectation visible and agreed upon. These are team created norms for communication, availability, and decision making. Working agreements. Working agreements prevent misunderstandings and emotional friction. They shift responsibility from leader, team shared accountability. Revisit agreements periodically as the team evolves. Trust, verify outcomes, and adjust together. Trust is the starting point of every collaboration. It's not a reward. So reward you can give multiple time, but reward cannot get the trust within the team. Trust is the starting point. Verification is about learning and alignment, not policing. Feedback loops health performance and relationship. Adjustment is collaborative, not corrective. Let's see how these things are being taken care by Finnova as we were taking the case study in our webinar. Let's move further with the next slide. Here you go. To structure this new leadership culture, Finnova introduced a simple 5-step model that guided all teams. This framework gives leader a simple blueprint. Start with clarity of direction, what success looks like, then visualize work so everyone see the plan and progress. Introduce rhythm with regular ceremonies to stay aligned and finally build a culture of experimentation and learning. Let's spend next 5 minutes to understand all these 5 steps of the new framework for hybrid team. Clarify outcomes. Hybrid team perform best when there is absolute clarity on why the work matters. Define shared outcomes, vision, OKRs, KPIs, product goals, and sprint goals, not just tasks. When purpose is clear, alignment becomes natural and motivation becomes intrinsic. Second one, visualize work. In hybrid environment, invisibility of work leads to confusion, delay, and blame game. Use share boards, WIP limits, work in progress, and explicit workflow policies to create transparency. Visibility reduces the need for check-ins and increase trust and self-management. The third one, enable cadence. Consistent cadence replaces physical proximity. It becomes the heartbeat of the team. Daily sync, refinements, and reviews keep connection strong and progress predictable. Rhythms reduce chaos, prevent isolation, and ensure everyone moves in the same direction. The fourth one, empower collaboration. Hybrid teams need both autonomy to execute and clear accountability for outcomes. Define ownership clearly, not through micromanagement, but through trust, clarity, leadership shift from controlling tasks to enabling commitment and follow through. And the last one, improve continuously. Continuous improvement is essential because hybrid work change how team interact. Use retros, quick experiment, and reflection loops to evolve ways of working. Small, consistent improvements compound into major cultural and performance gains. At Finnova, this framework replaced heavy governance with lightweight alignment. When applied to their mobile banking upgrade project, this model cut delivery time from 9 months to 6 months without adding pressure. Leaders found that by focusing on rhythms and visibility, hybrid teams self-organized naturally. This five-step model became Finnova leadership DNA, teaching managers to balance accountability with empathy, the hallmark of agile leadership in a hybrid model. Let's talk further and let's move to the next slide. How we can make this happen. Tools. Instead of forcing overlap, Finnova built continuous collaboration, not continuous meeting. Asynchronous updates kept momentum across zones. Celebrating small wins virtually helped recreate the energy of being together. Initially, Finnova believed tools could fix hybrid inefficiency, so they started using the tools. They adopted every platform from Jira to Miro to Slack, but soon tool overload became the new problem. People spent more time updating dashboard than solving customer issues. Leadership realized that tools can enable collaboration, but they cannot create trust. So Finnova refined tools uses through intent. They categorize tools under three purposes: visibility, that is from Jira; connection, that is from Slack or MS Teams; and improvement through Miro or Confluence. Every tool used had a clear purpose: to make work transparent, not to monitor people. Teams were trained to use visual board and stand up and retrospectives. What next they have used? Collaboration. One powerful example: the mortgage processing team visualized their backlog on a shared Kanban board. Instead of daily emails, updates become organic. Productivity increased by 20%, but more important, psychological safety improved. The shift was clear. Tools enabled the system, but leadership behavior, listening, recognizing, and removing roadblocks made hybrid collaboration sustainable. At Finnova Bank, the practice of asynchronous video updates combined with rotating facilitators proved instrumental in maintaining alignment and engagement across global teams. Teams recorded short asynchronous video updates to share progress, challenges, and key learnings, enabling everyone, regardless of time zone, to stay informed and connected. This reduced meeting fatigue while fostering inclusion and transparency. Additionally, by rotating facilitator for team discussions and ceremonies, Finnova empowered individuals to develop leadership skills, build empathy, and bring diverse perspective to teams' interactions. Together, these practices strengthened ownership, collaboration, and cross-team understanding in a dynamic agile environment. And the last one in the queue was channels. At Finnova Bank, two dedicated channels, demo wins and help needed, play a critical role in sustaining connection and collaboration across distributed agile teams. The demo wins channel become a space to celebrate small and big successes, showcase product increments, and recognize team efforts, reinforcing positivity and shared ownership. Meanwhile, the help needed channel encouraged openness and psychological safety, allowing anyone to seek assistance without hesitation. Together, these channels nurtured a culture of transparency, continuous learning, and collective problem solving, ensuring that communication and morale stay strong even in a hybrid, fast paced delivery environment. If I move further, how Finnova Bank ended or and not ended, how Innova Bank transformed with results. And what was the impact? Within 9 months, Finnova Bank recorded remarkable result. Employee engagement score improved by 35%, and cross-region collaboration score rose significantly. Time to market for digital initiative reduced by 40%. Team felt more connected despite being remote. The leadership observed a cultural shift. Managers no longer asked who is working on what, but how can I help unblock you? Listen carefully. Manager don't ask who is working on what, but they are asking how I can help unblock you. One of the most powerful stories came from a junior developer in Mumbai who said, earlier, I only coded what was assigned. Now I understand how my work impact the customer. Very important. Many of the time in the organization, team doesn't understand the purpose of their work. They are just keep working on coding, testing, release, coding, testing, release. But this change helped the team understand I am working on something, what value this work is being added, what value this work is adding to the customer. This statement became the embodiment of Finnova new culture. Leadership agility had made work meaningful again. Just give me a moment. I will just put my laptop adapter. Beyond metrics, Finnova built resilience when a regulatory change hit in mid project. The hybrid teams adapted in weeks, not months. The secret was not speed, it was alignment and autonomy. The organization learned that hybrid success depend not on proximity but on purpose driven leadership and trust based teams. There is a question on the chat as of now for me. I will just read out the question. People are scared of managers and not opening up in Scrum retrospective. Irrespective of how much they trust Scrum Master, managers with micromanagement mindset is a problem. How to deal with this? The only answer is train everyone when you are starting the transformation. Mindset is a myth always. It is the most confusing term which is used in the organization. People expect that manager will bring the change, scrum master will bring the change. No, change starts with you. Be the change you want to bring. If I give you the direct answer of this question, then managers are not involved in the retrospective at all. If my managers will be involved in the retrospective, definitely they will be micromanaging because of your past sprint, or maybe they will be planning something else as part of improvement for the next sprint. How to deal with the situation, the transformation. So there are different approaches for implementing agile way of working. One of the approach is bottom to top, one of the approaches top to bottom. Top to bottom is one of the most lenient approach where your top layer of your organization is aware what agile mindset is all about. When your top layer of the organization understand what agile mindset is all about, the flow of information, the flow of transformation, and the flow of value is following the rhythm as per your transformation timelines. But when transformation becomes bottom to top, so your bottom layer, your team is already doing a good job. The best part of transformation always is start with top to bottom. Make people understand that what mindset is all about. It is not only about the tools, it is about getting the things done as per the commitment that is coming from the team. Getting an idea what to be done, how to be done, it should come from the team. The responsibility of the manager to give an environment and the support the team need to get the work done, to trust them to get the work done, not to micromanage. Let me move further. Let us talk lessons for the leaders as part of Finnova Bank. Clarity, purpose, clarify purpose before process. I'm sorry, it is clarify purpose before process. At Finnova Bank, one of the earliest lessons learned was that clarity beats control. When the hybrid transition began, leadership rushed to set up remote check ins, workflow tools, and governance layers. But productivity dipped even further. The real issue: team didn't have a shared sense of purpose. Engineers in India were optimizing process while product owners in London were chasing completely different outcomes. That's when the leadership team paused and asked, what problem are we solving and why does it matter? They began each project with an explicit purpose sprint, a short alignment phase where everyone revisited OKRs, customer outcomes, and value hypotheses before deciding which agile process fit best. This reframing unblocked enormous daily. Suddenly, teams could adapt their Scrum, Kanban, or Scrumban approach with confidence because the why was clear. So, ask questions why. The takeaway here: don't lead with the framework, lead with purpose. Once teams align on outcomes, the process naturally follows. The second one: trust cadence over control. Hybrid work make many Finnova managers uneasy. Without seeing people in the office, they feared losing grip over progress. Initially, they micromanaged through daily status calls, but that only drained morale. The turnaround came when leadership replaced oversight with cadence. They built a predictable rhythm, daily stand up, and alignment, weekly demos for visibility, and bi weekly retros for learning. This cadence became the heartbeat of hybrid collaboration. Managers began to trust the rhythm instead of constant monitoring. Team delivered consistently, communication became transparent, and leadership finally had the confidence to step back. The insight is profound. Cadence creates psychological safety. It assures everyone that there is a time and a space to discuss blockers, celebrate progress, and align priorities. In Finnova case, trust replaced surveillance and outcome improved. The moment team trust the process rhythm, they don't need top-down control because discipline replaces dependency. The third one: empower local ownership. At Finnova, global delivery often led to decision paralysis. The offshore team waited for approvals from London before acting. Delays become routine. During transformation, leaders realized empowerment wasn't about giving freedom, it was about giving clarity and trust. So they introduced local ownership cells, cross functional sub-teams with autonomy to decide how to meet sprint goals. Product owners defined what and why, but the how was left to local team. This is what is autonomy. The result: response time improved drastically, developers felt invested, QA engineers proposed innovations, and customer noticed faster delivery. Leadership ensured accountability by defining clear success metrics, not by daily oversights. Empowerment also meant leaders acting as enablers, removing obstacles rather than dictating tasks in hybrid environment. Autonomy builds momentum. Finnova leaders learned that empowerment doesn't mean chaos. It means team owning outcomes with pride. Local ownership became the foundation for scalability and resilience. And the last one, at the right bottom: invest in psychological safety. That is one of the lesson and very important lesson for leaders. One of the hardest lessons for Finnova leadership was understanding that hybrid success depends on emotional trust more than technical skill. When teams went remote, miscommunication spiked, mistakes were hidden, and feedback loops broke down. Leaders noticed that fear, not distance, was the root cause. To counter it, they intentionally invested in psychological safety. They start retros with safe to fail. Very important. They started retros with safe to fail. Discussions where teams shared what did not work without judgment. Managers become modeling vulnerability, openly admitting when they did not have the answer. HR introduced pulse hours, short informal video session purely for connection and empathy. Slowly, the culture shifted. People started asking questions again, experimenting freely, and speaking up about blockers. Productivity rose as silence disappeared. Finova learned that hybrid performance is built not on sticker reporting, but on deeper trust. When people feel safe, they collaborate authentically, innovate faster, and bring their full selves to work, whether remote or in office. Few key takeaways from the last almost 45 minutes of discussions. What are the few key takeaways? The very important number one, Agile is about clarity, rhythm, and shared ownership. Agile is not just ceremonies, it's about shared understanding of outcome and priorities. Rhythm replaces physical proximity, cadence is what keep teams aligned. Ownership is collective, not individuals. Everyone contributes to deliver value. When these three come together, hybrid teams become connected, confident, and focused. The second one, hybrid success equal to clarity plus consistency plus connection. Hybrid environment do not work on assumptions or memory. They thrive on clarity. Consistency in rituals, communication patterns, and expectation helps stabilize distributed teams. Connection is not automatic, leaders create it. Through through what? Through intentional presence and structured interaction. When these three elements align, collaboration becomes natural rather than effortful. In distributed setup, silence can be mistaken for alignment or agreement. So communicate intentionally. Psychological safety allows people to raise concern, ask for help, and propose idea without fear. Leaders model this by encouraging questions and appreciating honesty. When people feel safe, collaboration deepens and performance becomes sustainable. That is what the second key takeaway of this session. And the last but not the least, tools help, but leadership behavior drives the real change. Tools organize work, but leaders communicate and support the team, sets the tone. Leadership in hybrid environment is about clarity, trust, and removing obstacles. Team don't thrive because of the tool, they thrive because they feel seen and supported. Change stick when leaders reinforce behaviors, not just roll out new platform. If I summarize, Finova Bank did not transform by adopting Agile. They transformed by reimagining leadership as shared act, not a title. Whether you are leading a banking team, a tech startup, or consulting squad, these principles hold true. Start with small steps to create outcomes, visualize work, create rhythm, and continuously learn. That's what truly agility looks like. Human first, system next. I am repeating again, human first, system next. As we close, let's return to the story of Innova Bank. Their transformation was not powered by a new framework, application, or a dashboard. It was powered by leadership, clarity, consistent rhythms, and shared ownership. When leaders at Finnova stopped chasing control and started nurturing trust, everything changed. Teams began to move in unison, not because they were told to, but because they believed in a shared purpose. That's the first key takeaway: clarity, rhythms, and shared ownership. These are the foundation of modern leadership in hybrid environment. The second big insight: communication and psychological safety. They are the real currencies of hybrid success. Tools may connect people, but it is quality of connection that defines outcome. When Finnova nominalized open dialogue, vulnerability, and empathy, performance naturally followed. People no longer feared mistake. They embraced experimentation, leading to genuine innovation. Finally, remember that tools don't transform teams, leaders do. The most sophisticated collaboration platform at Finnova failed until leaders learned to model the right behavior. Listening, empowering, and celebrating learning. Hybrid leadership is not about managing screens, it is about managing energy and alignment. Let's open the session for question and answers. If you guys have any questions from the last 50 minutes of session, I will be happy to answer it. Alko, do we have any question from LinkedIn or maybe from any of the participants? Am I audible? I need to ask this. So when you don't get a response, ask, okay, am I audible? Then definitely you will get yes or no, or maybe you will get few thumbs ups. If you feel, you can give me Pepsi as well. I always like Pepsi over thumbs up. Bad joke, I know. I will wait for another 1 minute and then I will move further. Okay. Now it's now your time to write your own growth story. So as you go back to your organization, ask yourself, are my teams clear on why before how? Do I trust cadence more than control? Am I building psychological safety every day? If yes, you are ready leading the agile way with purpose, rhythm, and heart. As we wrap up, remember that hybrid leadership is about designing intentional system from collaboration and trust. Agile practice offer the structure and rhythm needed to make hybrid teams feel connected and aligned. Your role as a leader is to create clarity, reinforce consistency, and build connection among team members. I would love to hear your questions or examples of challenges you face in your own hybrid teams. If you'd like to go deeper, I'm also running workshop and coaching sessions for organizations transitioning into high performing hybrid agile models. You can connect with me or you can connect with upgrad for any of the challenges that you are facing down the line. I have a question on the chat. How do you handle juniors that are reluctant to change their mindset and affect the rest of the team, although a clear goal? The rest of the team from the hybrid team has the common understanding. Will he be bad seen in the team? So the question I'm understanding is, how do you handle juniors that are reluctant to change their mindset and affect the rest of the team? A very best technique I always use in my organization or in my consulting assignment. Suppose there are team members. There are two types of team members. And with these two types of team member, one is very much cooperative and other one is not very much cooperative, like the example you have shared, the juniors that are reluctant to change their mindset and affect the rest of the team, although a clear goal. Make the person ask that I need your help. You are having excellent skills. You are from this 21st century. You are Gen Z or maybe millennials, whatever you refer to. You have a great skills, you have a great memory. I want you to explain the current way of working to the team. So means, see, it is a human nature whether you are reluctant or whether you are not reluctant. When you have to provide your own knowledge to someone else, you never want that the person should be behaving like you. The same thing happened in my past when there was a senior who was very reluctant. The senior was having 30 or 35 years of experience. What I did, the new joinees were there in the organization. I asked the senior that I am looking your help as you are having 30 years of experience in the industry. I am looking to help. I am looking your help to train the juniors on the product as well as on the technical. And I need your help on that. Can you do that? And that was the day the sudden change happened, that the behavior of the person was changed. Because when you have to train someone, you never want that the person should be treating like you always want that the person should be behaving like the way everyone should be. Hope I answered. How do you handle juniors reluctant? Not a question, but enjoyed the clarity and agile leadership, not micromanagement. Trust is key. Thank you. Question from LinkedIn. What are the initial steps to take while transforming from team level agility to enterprise business agility? The only thing is involve leaders. Leaders means those who are driving the transformation. Involve leaders in your day to day delivery, whether you are having a fixed rhythm, whether you are having weekly, quarterly, or bi weekly rhythm. Involve your leaders and bring transparency. Start bringing the alignment from top to bottom. If your top is having a goal defined, for example, your leaders of your organization or your portfolio of an organization or your enterprise of your organization says, hey, we are going to cloud. Make sure that the team is moving their completed work over the cloud. If your leader says, hey, let's go to cloud because our infrastructure is very poor, but at the team level, team is still migrating the work to the in-house server, it means that alignment is missing. Try to bring that alignment. Daily meetings, weekly meetings, town halls, vision statement ceremonies, these things can be done to bring a proper alignment between the team and the business. If the business says, hey, we are going to increase the user on our mobile platform, but what is happening in the team is still failing the deployments are rolled back. Is it called as align? No, it is not called as align. So answer of your question, the things to be aligned between what business says, what business demand, and what business deliver and what the team delivers. If this is aligned, you will be able to slowly move towards the larger level of the transformation. Another question: as a Scrum Master, what initiative can I take in my organization to motivate leader to adopt business agility and in terms of scaling agile? See, why we are scaling the agile and what is business agility? Business agility is called as the ability of the organization, not individual, ability of the organization to develop innovative solutions much faster than the competitor. So at an organization level, whosoever you are interacting with, whether it is upstream or whether it is downstream, whosoever you feel that you are interacting with, you have a dependency. Start involving them in your transformation. As a scrum master, you must highlight the problems of your team. Any problem, not the problem that, okay, my team size is less, the team capacity is less, I do not understand tech technology, I do not understand the domain. Any problem that you feel, whether the problem is related with software, hardware, infra, maybe it is with leave, maybe it is with using any software licenses, maybe the problem is with legal audit compliance. Any problem which is stopping the team to achieve the goal, start highlighting this problem. Keep identifying the stakeholders, keep identifying who is going to solve the problems. And if you are not able to identify, start reaching out to those people who are the actual stakeholders to tackle these solutions. Using that, you will start involving the leaders of your organization, and slowly when everybody will involve in the delivery, you will be able to achieve toward business agility.